This meeting is being recorded.
Awesome. I'm going to start the music and hello everybody. It is Stacy. Super excited to be here today for our deep stretch. Make sure that everyone can see me. There we go. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Or evening, depending on where you are in the world. We are just starting with standing on our mat. And you can just walk in place if you want. We're going to do a little bit more of a traditional warm-up today before we go down to our backs. And then we're going to do a deep stretch starting on the floor to standing today. So you can just walk in place. If you want, you can stay stationary and just start doing some gentle, just high knees. We're just going to open up our hip flexors a little bit. Excuse me. And so just marching in place, kind of opening up those hip flexors. You can march in front. Good. And then if you want, you can open your hip up. So by turning your knee out and your hip out, you're going to lift your leg in a high knee to the side. So basically just opening that hip up and then just lifting your knee to the side. You can do one side at a time, maybe about 10 on each side. To just kind of, again, just get that blood flowing in our hips. Just a nice little kind of blood flow opener before we go really deep into some hip and leg stretches from the ground. Good. Go ahead and shake out each leg, your left leg, then your right leg. You're going to firmly plant those feet into the ground and have a nice little slight knee bend. We're going to just do some hip circles, but with our hip circles, I don't want you to draw circles with your hips where you're kind of pushing your glutes back and then pushing your belly forward. I want you to keep your hips pretty square, so kind of just stacked over your knees and your ankles. And then I want you just to do small circles, pushing your pelvic floor forward to the side and then back. So just some more controlled circles. And you can go both ways, switching directions as you feel. If you feel a little bit tight in one area, feel free to stay there for just a second. And if you don't like doing circles, you can kind of shift your weight to the left, then the right, and then forward, and then back. So just kind of some isolated hip circles. And you can also do some figure eights. Good. And now we're going to draw some big circles with our hips. So you can lean forward, lean back, and then look to the sky. And just kind of shifting that weight around as you do some nice big hip circles. Good. Just kind of waking up that body a little bit. Beautiful. Go ahead and walk that out, or if you want to move your feet, you can. We're going to do just some big arm circles, but I want you to go really slow. So not fast arm circles. I really want you to take your arms back and away from your body as far as you can, opening up that chest as you look towards the sky, bringing them up and around, really slow and exaggerated so that you're feeling stretches not only in your shoulders, but also in your abs. Really just going slow, reaching those fingertips away from your body wherever they happen to be as you're moving them in circles. And just getting our shoulders ready. Excuse me. Nice and slow. Feel free to change direction. Good. And then go ahead and let's roll our shoulders forward. So just really exaggerate rolling your shoulders forward. Bring your shoulder blades all the way up to your ears. You don't hear me say that very often. Kind of round your back, push your shoulders and fingertips down. And as you're doing this, again, exaggerating the movements so that you're stretching as you're doing it. Really slow. Crunching those shoulders, not crunching, but I guess so. Squeezing those shoulders to your ears and then pushing those fingertips down to get some movement. And then go ahead and go the opposite direction. Just opening up those shoulders, squeezing those shoulder blades together. And again, just kind of waking up our body we're about to work on. So go ahead and shake out those arms now. And as you're ready, we're gonna go into our first deep stretch flow. We're gonna go onto our backs to start. So go ahead and take your time as you get down on your mat. You're gonna go on your backs, and I want you to just have your legs flat on the ground, so have your legs fully extended. And then you can have your arms fully extended above your head too. And for right now, we're just gonna inhale through the nose and exhale through the mat. And as you do that, I want your spine to sink into the mat. You can also press it into the mat, but we're just kind of getting our spine just a little bit elongated, if you will, or just stretching it out. I want your palms, like if your hands are stretched out above your head, I want your palms facing the ceiling. You may even feel a little bit of a stretch in your armpits or your underarms. Really reaching those toes away from your fingertips. And just finding your breath, big inhales, big exhales, melting into the mat. Good. We're gonna take those hands and you're gonna move them into like a Y. We're not doing the YMCA, but like we were about to do the YMCA. So I want you to put those hands in a Y. And I want you to drop those shoulders down so that they're not in your ears. So if your shoulders were up near your ears, drop your shoulders down as your hands extend out, reaching out, like almost like someone's pulling on your hands or your fingertips to stretch them out further into the Y. So that's what your hands are gonna be doing. You're gonna do the same thing with your legs. So you're gonna move your legs out a little bit so that they're also in like a V. And you're gonna point those toes. And again, we're gonna extend our toes away from our fingertips and just breathe. I want you to fill your belly up with a big balloon and exhale through your mouth. And as you exhale, let your spine melt into the ground, reaching and stretching your legs and fingertips away. Good. We're gonna take those arms out to a T. I want your palms still facing up towards the ceiling because it is a little bit different of a stretch. So those arms are gonna go out into a T, and I want you to inch those fingertips away from your shoulders. So reaching out and away, get your shoulders out of your ears, so drop those shoulders down. And go ahead and move your legs a bit wider, maybe as wide as you can go while you're laying. It's a little bit different than when we're sitting. And you're just reaching and stretching. If you want, you can turn your ankles up towards the ceiling and feel how that stretches your body a little bit differently. As your hands are in that T, your shoulder blades are dropped down, and you're just reaching and stretching, almost like if you've ever seen The Incredibles, if you have kids or grandkids. I think the mom, she has super stretch abilities, so you can just stretch and reach. Good. Now we're gonna bring those hands down towards our pockets, maybe not quite touching our pockets, but about a foot away. And you're gonna bring those legs out any wider than you can, so as wide as you can from this position. Push up, push your tailbone, into the mat. Engage your core a little bit and looking straight up. Go ahead and drop those shoulders down, those fingertips. I want you to reach those fingertips now towards your toes. And again, you can turn your ankles towards the ceiling if you want to get a little bit of an inner thigh stretch. Good. Now go ahead and shake out those arms and legs. We're going to place our feet flat on the ground. So my knees are going to be bent towards the ceiling. My feet are flat on the ground. I'm going to take my arms out into a T, and my palms are going to be facing down this time. You're going to drop both knees towards the left, and you're going to look towards the right. Really, if you can, try to keep your feet zipped up. So what I mean by that is you want to have those ankles, if you can, stacked on top of one another as you're squeezing your legs together To do this, you can use your top leg that's closest to the ceiling and push it down towards the left leg. You want to keep that right shoulder on the ground as you're looking towards your right, and your legs are to the left. Now, as you do that, I want you to release your core, still push those legs together, dropping to the left. And now inhale and exhale, big balloon breaths, exhaling through the mouth. Relax your not your pelvic floor, I keep saying my pelvic, relax your tailbone into the mat, letting it sink in. And hopefully you'll feel a little bit of a different stretch as you release your tailbone to melt into the mat. So again, sometimes in this stretch, we're like engaging our pelvic floor or we're tightening because we're trying to push those legs together. Just let it relax and melt just like an ice cube, and see where you might feel some release as we hold that stretch. Palms facing down, still looking to that right side. And just breathing into that space. With each exhale.
So Stacey, our hips are not coming off. Our right hip is not coming off the mat when we do it, or it is?
My right hip comes off the mat, yeah. So I think it's,
okay.
I mean, I'm sure it's not impossible, okay. But yes, you're kind of turning your hips, turning your knees to the other side. So my right hip comes up, but my right shoulder stays down.
Okay, because I was wondering when you talk about relaxing the tailbone into the mat, I was like, how do you do that? Mine's not even touching the mat.
Well, maybe it's your opposite hip flexor then. That's a good point.
Yeah, okay. Just to make sure.
No, great. It's a great question. We're going to hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back up to center. I want you to zip those legs up again and go ahead and let your legs or your knees go to the right as you reach your fingertips out away in a T, palms facing down, as you look to the left. Ooh. Just pinched my skin on the floor. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, maybe not quite your tailbone, but it's right now would be your right hip sinking into the mat, which might make you feel a stretch in your left hip. But we're just breathing, keeping those legs zipped up, really letting gravity do the work. Doing a nice hip opener. And we're holding everything for about 1.5 to 2 minutes today. Some stretches we might do a minute, but mostly trying to go for that 90 seconds to 2 minutes. And as you breathe and your body relaxes and maybe you find less tension, go ahead and push yourself a little bit further to that discomfort space to release deeper into that stretch. Good. About 30 more seconds. Breathing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly bring those knees back up to that, slowly bring your knees back up to the ceiling. Now from here, all we're gonna do before we do our next stretch is I want you to do some pelvic floor rocks. So you're gonna tuck that pelvic floor in, pulling your pelvic floor towards your belly button, and then you're gonna push your tailbone into the ground, shifting your belly so that you're almost like you're pushing your belly out, creating a C curve in your back, and then going back to that pelvic floor tilt. And I just want you to go back and forth, again, just getting a little bit more action in that pelvic floor region, which is all connected to the fascia in our hips and our low back. So really when we're trying to isolate deep stretch, or maybe we're feeling tension in our back, it's not actually usually in our back. A lot of times they say back pain starts from our Achilles tendon or even our calves because everything pulls on it. So just giving a little more attention to that. Good. We're gonna take our right leg and we're gonna place it on our left thigh. We're gonna do a nice little figure 4 stretch. So from here, my right leg is on my left thigh. I'm going to take both my hands and place them on my right leg, pulling that right leg towards my face. Now, you also can use that left knee or that left leg to push at the same time that you're holding your right leg, to push your leg closer to your face, getting a really nice, good figure 4 stretch. Now, if it's a good stretch, just letting your right leg rest on your left thigh, that's fine too. You don't have to pull it closer to you, just getting a nice stretch. And as we're holding this for about 2 minutes, feel free to kind of shift your weight or rock your weight back and forth. Sometimes you might find that if you press your weight onto your hip a little bit more or in a certain spot, you might feel a little more tension. If you find that point of tension, just stay there and keep leaning into it so that you can release that tension. And just breathing. So sometimes if we're like, oh, that's tight, we stop breathing. We don't want to do that. We want to keep breathing, allowing space to be created. And imagine your muscles or your fascia like Swiss cheese. As the holes are created, that's the space to really let yourself relax into that deep stretch. It's where you have optimal mobility, optimal function. About 30 more seconds. So if you can pull your leg closer to your face or lean your weight into a side where there's some discomfort, let's do that now. Going that extra 30 seconds of stretching, deepening it. Breathing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. Go ahead and gently, you can shake that leg out if you want to, just because we did have our knee in a different position. And then when you're ready, go ahead and take that right leg and place it on the bottom of your right foot on the floor, and then take your left ankle and place it on your right thigh. Now you might find that this leg's a little bit tighter, or it might even be a bit looser. So just listening to our bodies and what it needs. Go ahead and take both hands if you like, or push that right knee up to bring that left leg closer to our face. And we're just gonna breathe. For me, this left leg is a bit tighter in my hip flexor. Just breathing. And again, you can rock back and forth, shifting that weight if you like a little bit. Good. Once you find a spot that has a little point of tension, feel free to just stay there. Using your breath, using your weight to lean into it. Good, about 1 minute left. You're doing great. Let's keep those hips opening up. If you feel a little tightness in your low back, feel free to breathe into that space as well. "15 more seconds. Good. Use that breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and shake out that left leg. Good. Give yourself a nice little stretch out. So typically when we do the butterfly stretch, we're seated. We're going to do the butterfly stretch on our backs. So we're going to put both bottoms of our feet together. We're going to place our hands on our ankles, and we're going to pull those heels towards our glutes, doing a butterfly stretch while it's basically suspended in the air. You're going to inhale. As you exhale, go ahead and bring those feet up. And if you can't quite grab your ankles, that's okay. You can also just do the shape with your legs. That's fine as well. You might find that to start, it's a little bit harder, but then you'll be able to kind of gradually sink deeper into that stretch. So just kind of a suspended butterfly stretch. We're going to do a couple things from this position, but for right now, just opening up those inner thighs a little bit more for a nice, I wouldn't say static, but a nice stationary, I guess, butterfly stretch. Just a little bit different, letting gravity do that work. And we're just breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And if you can't grab your ankles, you can also, I forgot to mention this, you can grab the inside of your thighs just below your knees. That's fine too. And then just turn those feet together. It's very similar. Good. About 30 more seconds. And then we'll take a little break to put our feet down, and then we're going to go right back up into a straddle stretch. So just so you know what's coming, we're breathing. Good. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently place your feet down. You can shake them out. Now for this one, what you're going to do, you have two options. So we're going to do a straddle stretch with our legs suspended in the air. So your legs are going to go out wide in a V. Now, you can do this by holding, just like we did, one of the options in the last stretch is you can hold the inside of your thighs just behind your knee and press your legs out into a V as your legs are fully extended. You also, if you want to get a little bit of a hamstring stretch too, can grab your toes and curl your toes towards your face while your legs are in a V. So either option's good. We're going to do it for 2 minutes. So you can also start with one. I'll tell you when we hit about 1 minute and then transition to another. But this is just a straddle, it's a V stretch or a straddle stretch, suspended, if you will. So on your mark, get set, go. That's funny. Inhale, exhale. Go ahead and bring those legs up into a V. And you're just going to hold that V stretch, getting a nice good thigh stretch, inner thigh stretch. You can point or flex your toes throughout. Feel free to just listen to your body. Letting gravity do the work this time. Good. Very good. We're going to hit a minute in just about 10 seconds. Oh. Good. We're at just after a minute. Sorry, I was stretching and was focusing on where I was feeling I needed to stretch. So if you want to grab those toes, you can at this time and pull your toes to your nose as you're trying to keep your legs extended. So just a slight knee bend and you'll get a little bit of a hamstring stretch. Don't worry if you don't do this, we'll be doing hamstring stretch soon. About 40 more seconds. Good. 15 seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently bring those legs down. Beautiful job. We're going to do a, happy baby pose. Sorry, my head is jumping. Happy baby pose and 2 hamstring stretches, then we're going to go to our belly. So for happy baby pose, you're going to keep your knees bent. You're going to put your legs out wide and you're just going to grab the bottoms of your feet or your toes and you're just going to rock back and forth. If you can't grab your toes, again, you can just grab behind your knees and just keep those legs out wide. But now your knees are going to be bent And you're just gonna rock back and forth to massage that back. Go ahead and breathe. Good. Breathing. Beautiful job. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're gonna do our hamstring stretch. So we're gonna bring our right leg up as high as we can towards basically our knee to our face, keeping our leg extended. So we only want a slight knee bend. You can take both hands and place it on your calf or behind your leg, and this is to get that hamstring stretch. So what I would do is point your toes towards your nose as you're in the hamstring stretch to get a nice, good release. If you have a towel, sometimes rolling up a towel and placing it on the bottom of your foot can help you pull that knee closer to your face. But for now, just kind of pulling and holding. We're gonna just do this hamstring stretch for 1 minute because we are gonna do hamstrings once more when we're standing. And then we're gonna do the other leg for a minute and then we'll go onto our bellies. Good. "15 seconds. Slowly. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back down. All right, we're gonna do that left leg. Excuse me. Go ahead and bring that left leg up. Flex those toes towards your nose. You can place both hands behind your knee or near your calf and just pull that leg up, getting a nice good hamstring stretch in that left leg. Good. We're just holding. Beautiful job. About 20-ish more seconds. Keep breathing. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. Take a nice deep, take a nice deep breath, and you're gonna roll over onto our bellies for our next flow. Good. So we did a lot of inner thigh and hamstring work in that one. We're gonna do our quad next. So for this, sorry. That was weird. Had a little bit of a head blood rush and then a yawn at the same time. So we're gonna grab the top of our foot. So you can do this 2 ways, and some people it's comfortable either way. So you can grab the top of your foot if you're able to, with your belly fully flat on the ground, bringing your heel to your glute, and then grabbing the top of your foot while you pull that foot closer to your glute to get a nice quad stretch. If it's really hard to do it from this angle, you can roll onto your side and then grab either your sock or your ankle. Some people find it easier to be on your side to do this, as you again still pull that heel towards your glute. So I'm gonna do my right leg first. And again, we're just doing a nice quad stretch. If you are flat on your belly as you're doing this, you can lift your right hip or lift that hip of the leg you're holding up in the air as you kind of pull up and back to get a really nice deep stretch in that quad. Good. And we are just gonna hold this one for about 90 seconds. So not quite a minute, or sorry, not quite 2 minutes, but not just a minute. I really wanna do this counter stretch really intentionally, making sure that we are getting just as good of a stretch in our quads. Good. Really pull that heel back towards your glute. And again, if you can't reach your ankle or your toe or your foot, you can pull on your sock or your pant leg. About 30 more seconds. Make sure you're breathing. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and shake out that leg.
Oh.
I know the counter stretch is always very. Oh, go
A
ahead.
strap really helps with this one. This one also, I have a yoga strap. If anyone has a yoga strap or a belt or a towel, it really does help.
It does, yeah. All right, we're gonna do that other leg. So for me, that's my left leg. I am gonna roll onto my side for this side because I know my left side's always a little bit tighter. And I'm going to grab the top of my foot and then pull that heel towards my glute. Getting a nice stretch in that quad. Allowing it to release because I'm taking time. Allowing the stretch to do its work. Reminding my body it doesn't need to hold any of this tension. It can let it go. Good. About 1 minute left. I'm just breathing. Really allowing yourself to deepen into that stretch. And if it's starting to release, which it should be because we're about we're about a minute in now. Just pull that heel a little bit closer or shift your weight a little bit to get that stretch to go deeper. 15 seconds now. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. You're gonna just go right back onto your belly. If you're not on your belly, you're gonna place your hands on either side of your armpit. So I want those thumbs to be in line with our armpit. We're gonna do a little cobra pose. Tuck your elbows into your sides, and then I want you to press your shoulders up towards the ceiling, and I want you to look straight up towards the ceiling. Good. Very good. And we're just breathing. And if you want to walk your hands back a little bit, you can. Pressing those shoulders up to the ceiling. Breathing into your belly. Great job. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly come back down. Great job. Now remember how we started our stretching where we kind of had our arms out and our legs all the way stretched out? As you're on your belly looking at the ground, I want you to stretch your arms out over your head, and I don't want you to like crane your neck. I want you to look straight through the mat, or you can even relax your forehead on the floor if you're able to. So really honestly just letting your head hang down. It might make it a little bit harder to breathe, but I want us to basically be like Superman or like we're flying. I don't want our arms to hover, but I want our fingertips to walk away from our toes as our head just relaxes into the mat, and just really stretching our body from our toes to our fingertips and just holding that. So how I do that is I walk my hands out and kind of press my palms into the floor. Oh, I just got a stitch in my shoulder. Apparently I need to do that. And just looking straight through the mat and just breathing. I'm going to stop talking so I can breathe into that space. I'm just reaching and stretching those toes away as those fingertips are away. You can press your palms into the floor a little bit to get a deeper stretch in those armpits again. You can press the tops of your feet into the floor of the mat. Good. We're going to take those hands and we're going to take them out into a T. So palms facing down, we're in a T. Again, I'm still just looking through the mat, or my head can relax on the mat. And we're going to shift our weight to our right shoulder. So my left arm, maybe I'll use it as a little bit of an anchor, and I'll kind of push my weight onto my right shoulder as I'm looking down to the ground. My palm is firmly planted in the ground. And what I really want us to get out of this is potentially some elbow stretching from not our forearm, but our bicep into our elbow space. So I'm leaning my shoulder, I'm leaning the inside of my elbow towards the ground, pressing my palm into the ground and just holding it there. I'm just breathing. It's kind of a different stretch. It's not something we think about, which is basically stretching where the inside of our elbow is. Because we hold tension everywhere, but definitely tension in our arms, our shoulders, our neck. But the same thing goes for how I was talking about lower back pain being the Achilles. Like a lot of times they say it starts in the Achilles or our feet or our calves. Our shoulder and neck pain also can come from that, but also from our hands, our forearms, especially if we do a lot with our hands, if we work with our hands a lot. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and shake that arm out. You're going to take that left arm now, extend it all the way out. Press your palm into the ground, and then shift your weight onto that left shoulder. And now I want you to think of that space where the inside of your elbow is, and press the inside of your elbow towards the mat. And just see if you can get a little bit of movement in there, a little bit of a stretch, maybe a counter stretch. If you don't feel anything, that's okay too. You can shift your weight around until maybe you feel something. Even if you don't, that's okay. You're still getting some movement in there. Pressing that palm into the ground, pressing that inside of that elbow to the ground as that weight goes on that left shoulder. Good, about 20 more seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake out that leg, or not that leg. Shake out that arm. All right, we're gonna do our last shoulder stretch. It's where we reach behind the small of our back. We're gonna do this for 2 minutes, but I'm going to give you some cues every 30 seconds. Well, I mean, if I can actually stay quiet for 30 seconds, we'll see. But I'm gonna change it up a little bit every 30 seconds. So I want you to reach behind your back. I want to see if you can have your fingertips touch, great. If not, that's okay. You basically just want your fingers or your hands to be on the small of your back. I want you to look straight through the ground. I want you to push your shoulder blades down towards your glutes, and we're just gonna hold and breathe. So keeping those shoulder blades pushed down towards your glutes. Our fingertips are reaching for each other or they're intertwined. You can place your head on the mat if you wish, but we're really just trying to get a counter stretch in our shoulders. Good. Now I want you to take your weight, keep your hands together. You can even grab your forearms if you're that flexible. I want you to take your weight and I want you to shift it to your right shoulder. This will cause your left arm to come up a little bit. And I want you to just push your weight up into your right shoulder into the ground as your head just relaxes into the ground. So just shifting our weight onto our right side, pushing that right shoulder into the ground. This might also allow you to have your fingertips closer together or more intertwined. We're just breathing into that space. Good, we're gonna now shift our weight to our left side. That left shoulder is gonna go into the ground. And that right shoulder might come off the ground, and that's fine. And as you're doing this, you can squeeze your shoulder blades together to get a different stretch. Good. I realize I'm actually on the mic. Oopsies. Good. Go ahead and come back to center. And I want you to look through the mat still, push those shoulder blades down, and then press your shoulder, or press your collarbone, if you will, of the front of your shoulders into the mat. Let your head relax on the mat. And then I want you to shrug your shoulders. So put your shoulders up to your ears and then press them away from your ears. Just up and down as we're shrugging our shoulders. Go ahead and have your left ear touch the left side of your shoulder, right ear touch the right side of your shoulder. You can look up, look down. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and relax. That was really good work. Really just trying to get that muscle tension out of our neck. We're going to do child's pose before we stand up. Before we go to our knees, and then we're going to stand up. And so for child's pose, you're going to put your heels together. So heels go together, knees go out nice and wide. Your hands are going to be fully extended in front of your body, and you're going to push your hips back towards your glutes as you look straight through the mat. Good. And we're just breathing. Let your belly hang. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and get in tabletop position. We're going to do a little cat-cow because it's, our favorite. A little cat-cow before we go to standing. So my elbows, wrists, and shoulders are stacked on top of each other. I'm going to tuck my chin to chest as my spine rounds up towards the ceiling and my pelvic floor tucks in. And I'm just going to breathe into that cat pose, really rounding my shoulders, pushing my spine up to the ceiling. And when I feel ready, I'm going to inhale and exhale to cow, letting that belly hang, and then letting my head come up to look towards the ceiling. And you can just alternate between the two as you feel. And if you want to, as you're in them, you can shift your weight from your left to your right leg, seeing if anything else needs some extra love or attention. That's a good time to just check in with our body and see what we're feeling. Are we feeling any tightness anywhere? Are we feeling more mobile? And just checking in as we're just doing this nice little cat-cow back and forth for about 15 more seconds, and then we're slowly going to stand up. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to slowly stand up. Take your time. So we're gonna do, just to round out kind of our standing, our last flow, we're gonna do some lunging, and then we're gonna just do our slight cool down standing. So for this, you can use the wall as an option or just your mat, but I want you to stand on the short edge of your mat, excuse me. You're gonna step out with your right leg as, I'm not gonna say as far as you can go because I want your left heel to stay glued to the mat. And you're gonna step that right leg till you feel a stretch in your left calf as you bend that right knee. So right now my left foot is firmly planted in the ground. My right leg is about a leg's length away. And I'm just lunging on that right leg so that my knee is not going past my toes. And I'm just pushing my left foot into the ground, that left heel into the ground. And I'm just lunging. My chest is nice and high. My hands are on my hips. And we're just gonna hold this position. And again, if you're on the wall, you can just place both hands on the wall. So right now I'm really focusing on pushing my heel into the ground, which is really meaning I'm kind of pushing my hips back a little bit so that we're getting that calf stretch. We're going to shift our weight a little bit in about a minute to get a nice quad stretch before we switch legs. So really just kind of rounding out our lower body. We're still holding, and if you don't feel that stretch, just move your legs farther apart. My hands are just relaxed at my sides, and I'm looking straight ahead. We're gonna shift our weight now so that our shoulders are gonna go back. I'm gonna look towards the ceiling, and I want you to put your left hip so that you're shifting your weight back onto your left heel, but you're pushing your hips forward. So I want you to get a good stretch in that pelvic region that connects to the quad. So I'm looking up, I'm shifting my hips forward towards my right toe, and a little bit less emphasis on that calf, even though it probably is still getting a good stretch in the Achilles, but just shifting that weight so I can get a nice stretch in that pelvic floor and that left quad. And we're just holding. You can steady yourself by putting your hand on the wall or on something next to you. We're holding for about 30 more seconds. You're doing great. Breathing. 10 more seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly stand up and go ahead and shake out that left leg and that right leg. Standing on the short edge of the mat, I want you to take a step out with your left leg. You're going to bend that left knee so that your ankle and knee, are in a 90-degree angle. Pressing that right heel into the ground. I want you to focus on shifting your weight so that it's really driving that heel into the ground. So we're focusing on that calf stretch. We will shift our weight in about a minute to push those hips forward. But right now, really focusing on getting a good Achilles tendon and calf stretch. Using that left leg or that left foot as an anchor as you kind of push that weight into that right heel. Good. Really just rounding out all the work we did today. Breathing. About 15 more seconds, and we're going to shift that weight so that our right hip is going to press forward as we look up to the ceiling. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press those hips forward. Look up to the ceiling. Good. Breathing, really getting a nice stretch in that pelvic floor to quad region. We just have 45 more seconds with this one. Beautiful job. We're almost done with class. Good. Looking up, pressing those hips forward for 15 more seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. Shake out those legs. All right. Whew, got my legs out a little like jello-y / stiff / I think it all worked, but we're just gonna shake out all of our limbs. So shake out your arms and your legs. We're gonna do 3 forward folds to end class today. So just gonna walk you through those cues. The first one is a very standard, forward fold. I want you to have really good posture here. So stand up nice and tall, push your shoulder blades down for now. And I want you just to breathe into that pelvic floor space. On our inhale, next inhale, exhale, you're gonna bring those hands up overhead. So inhale, as you exhale, bring those hands up overhead, reaching to the sky, hinge at the hip, reaching away from the body, stretching those fingertips away from the body, and then coming down into that forward fold. And I want you just to hang there and relax, letting your head hang as your arms hang. You can draw circles with your arms. On your next inhale, you're going to exhale. You're going to tuck from your pelvic floor first, from your tailbone first. Inhale. Exhale, tuck that tailbone in, and as you slowly come up to standing, I want you to stack each vertebrae on each vertebrae until you're fully standing. Breathing. Go ahead and relax those arms and shoulders. Good. All right, our next forward fold is going to be a little bit quicker. Keep those knees slightly bent, tuck that pelvic floor in. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands up over your head and go ahead and reach out and away as your body hinges at the hip, coming down nice and slow. I want you to grab either elbow. As you're holding those elbows, I want you to push your right elbow to the ground and then your left elbow to the ground. And just breathe, letting those elbows push towards the floor. Good. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly come back up. Now our last forward fold is going to be the swan dive. And so with that, we're going to put our hands on top of one each other like a pancake when they're reaching above our head. And then we're going to not dive into the ground, but we're going to dive our hands into the ground for one fluid swan-like motion. My feet are hip width distance. I have a nice slight knee bend, and I'm going to inhale. As I exhale, bring those hands up over my head, stacking one hand on top of each other. Inhale, exhale, dive forward in one fluid motion until you come back up to standing. Beautiful job. Take a nice big inhale and exhale. Roll those shoulders forward 3 times. Roll those shoulders back 3 times. And if you want, you can give your left shoulder a kiss, give your right shoulder a kiss, and thank yourself for showing up today. That is Deep Stretch This Fine Tuesday. Thank you, everybody.